Every transaction comes down to $5,000. I don't care if you're buying $1 million house or a condo.
Do you recommend that they wait to get married and then buy that house? Or do you recommend that they buy before?
Because when you're emotional, you're not thinking straight.
Yeah.
You either overpay or you underpay because your ego doesn't want to spend the extra $5,000 and you lose your dream home.
How much percentage-wise should we have for closing costs, renos?
But make sure the structure is sound, attic has proper ventilation so there's no mold, and make sure the windows are relatively new.
So we got the house, we went to the notary, we signed the dotted line, we gave away all of our money in a check, and there started the renovations.
Revenue properties, it's super important to be next to metros, schools, hospitals.
Would you let people put in offers without pre-approval?
Taking a risk would look like what you did.
That was a major risk.
That's a major risk.
Delulu is the Salulu. Welcome to Wedding Wednesday, the podcast that's about to spill all the tea on what it's like to plan a wedding from the bride's perspective. I'm creating the podcast I need to keep me sane and feeling less alone as I plan my own wedding. We're diving deep into the hilarious, messy, and sometimes crazy world of wedding planning and wedding horror stories. Get ready to laugh, cry, and maybe feel a little less alone in this wedding planning madness. Hello, welcome back to Wedding Wednesday. I am very excited for today's episode, you guys. We have a realtor on our podcast today. He's going to teach us all the things that we need to know when it comes to buying our first home and balancing wedding planning at the same time. If you know somebody in the market for their first home, send them this episode. It's going to really help them, guide them through the whole process of what it's like to buy their first home. With that, let's say hello to our guest. Hi,
Hello.
Marty.
How are you?
Welcome to Wedding Wednesday.
Thank you for having me. Beautiful setup here. I'm very excited to be here.
You like our little
Very
setup
nice.
here? Very cool. Marty, you told me you've been a realtor for 11 years.
Yeah.
You're super passionate about it. What brought you to the real estate world?
Well, before I was in construction, so I did masonry and HVAC and construction of homes. But I felt it wasn't my true calling. So I wanted a different life, different lifestyle, meet different people, be around a different industry. And real estate was it. And it was great. I met awesome people and I've never looked back.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of fun.
You're saying this and it's really resonating with me. I'm going through a personal career crisis. This is was not supposed to be talked about in today's episode, but because you brought this up, I just curiously want to know how did you do that switch from construction to real estate without the anxiety of starting from scratch?
Well, I was a bit younger. So what I was doing, I was working full time, usually about 50 hours a week, and I did night school for real estate.
Okay.
So I'd finish around 10 p.m. night school, and usually I'd go home, eat, and then sometimes I'd sleep in my car to go work the next day.
Wow.
I did that for a year and a half.
Okay.
And that's just because I wanted to change my life and my situation and how, I'm going to live. So I had no choice.
Yeah. So it was a big push for a year and a half, and then you were able to do the transition. Okay, that's good to know. So I'll take that.
It was a year and a half, but then also another 2 years of battling in real estate and not quitting.
Right.
The first year for realtors, you almost make no money unless you're very lucky.
Right.
So you got to grind it out. It's tough.
It's all about the lead generation, I think.
Yeah. If you're not comfortable picking up a phone call or talking to people or, for example, at the gym, I'll speak to everybody at the gym just to get opportunities and help people. And maybe they work in an industry and can help me and my clients. That's what the game's all about.
Yeah. And then over time, I'm assuming it's word of mouth that grows, or do you have a bunch of other lead generation systems?
So word of mouth is the best thing. Referrals, when you do a good job for someone, that's always a broker's main objective, is to do such a good job for you that you'll refer me to your friends and family.
Yeah.
And that's how you grow your business. So word of mouth is great, but you gotta be on the phones every day.
Yeah.
If you don't like cold calling, it's not for you.
Right. Okay. Good to know. Yeah. How often would you say that you're speaking to couples who are in the process of getting married or just married and they're looking for that first piece of property?
Yeah, so I have quite a few first-time home buyers, and most of them are in that, in the realm.
Yeah.
So quite often, this happens very often, and a lot of the times they're a bit nervous. They know generally, about real estate, but when you really get into it and you have inspection and financing, it's a different game.
It is.
You got to be prepared.
Would you say that people, when they start to come to you and they're engaged and they're planning their wedding, they have their date and everything, do you recommend that they wait to get married and then buy that house? Oof. Or do you recommend that they buy before? they get married?
This is a loaded question because it goes case by case.
Yeah.
But for me as a realtor, because I'm kind of impartial, I'm a third party. I don't have emotions attached to the house or the home buying process.
No.
So for me, I always want to buy real estate first because the market tends to go up and you don't want to play catch up. So it's always, if you find the opportunity and you have the finances, go for it.
Right. So that makes sense. That's what we did.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And it worked out?
Well, so far so good.
Okay, awesome.
We've had our house for a year and a half, something like that. We always said that we wanted to buy a piece of property before we got married, even before we got engaged, because we knew we wanted a big fat wedding, and a big fat wedding cost a lot.
I heard.
And so we said, well, on the off chance we spend all of our money on our big fat wedding,
There you go.
we should probably spend most of our money on the house first.
That's so smart.
So that's what we did.
Yeah, you need to do that.
Yeah, but we have a lot of friends who got married and are looking for their house now, you know, after getting married. So it just depends on what works for you and your couple, I guess.
Exactly.
But ultimately, when should couples start looking, regardless of their timeline, their wedding timeline?
Good question. That's a very good question. So I suggest you contact a realtor 6 months before you want to kind of make the move.
Okay.
The reason why...
By make the move, you mean like signing the dotted line, your person.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So if you want to move January 1st, which I wouldn't recommend, but do it 6 months before, meet with your realtor, someone that you know, like, and trust.
Yeah.
And sit down with them and tell, and they'll tell you the plan, right? And from their plan, I make my own plan. Okay, guys, so you want to move here at this time. This is how much money you have. I kind of tailor everything. So meet with someone is very important so you know what to expect. Yeah.
Yeah, that's for sure. Would you suggest how do you suggest a type of property is a good fit for a couple?
So it depends on their lifestyle and also where they work. So it depends. Someone who's very on the go, maybe wants to be more in the city. Someone who wants to grow a family can go more in the suburbs. Someone who's more money conscious, maybe we'll get them a duplex and rent out the bottom. So it all depends on their comfortability and their lifestyle, really. Yeah.
What has the most upside, would you say, financially, investment-wise? Condo, house, or duplex?
Ooh. So these are all my opinions.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of condos.
Yeah.
Okay. What's happening with Toronto, it's just spiraling. So I always tell my clients, please don't buy any condos unless we find something super cheap and you rent it out.
Yeah.
Because the rents haven't really decreased that much. But I'm a big believer in revenue properties. Yeah. So I would buy a revenue property, probably rent out the bottom duplex.
Yeah.
Get your life kind of started, start saving. And then when you're ready for that dream house, then you get it in 5 years, 6 years, after you build up some equity in the property. Yeah, that's what I would do.
Between a duplex in the boonies
Okay.
or a town that needs fully renovation in the city, which do you recommend to the couple?
Oh, yeah. So my thing is always, and it should always be location, location, location. That's the main thing because...
For the couple, because of work, or for society?
What do you mean?
Like location, location, location. They say the closer you are to Montreal downtown, the better it is upside financially, right?
Yeah.
But what if the couple works remotely and they don't need to go into the city all the time, but they buy in a district that is still interesting? I'm thinking Talbot, for example.
Okay.
Talbot, for anybody who doesn't know, is just like maybe 45 to an hour drive from downtown Montreal, but it's a beautiful place to buy a piece of property because there's a nice community growing there. So what would you say is better when they make their decision, to think about their own location and like what works for their jobs, or to buy closer to the city?
I think what works for you.
Yeah.
Real estate will always go up. There's always different ways to build equity and to make moves. So yeah, that's what I would do.
What do you think about pre-approval? So the couple is like ready to buy. They came to you 6 months before.
Oh, great.
They're set on a house or maybe a duplex or a house that they can rent the basement. They decided to buy outside of the city, not too close to the city, because they can still generate some revenue.
Right.
what are the next steps like financially you're recommending for the couples to plan?
So you need to plan on renovations that you have to be done, right? You have to plan on the beautiful welcome tax that you get when you buy a property.
No. Nobody wants it.
But you're going to get it 30 days when you buy it.
Is the welcome tax worldwide thing, or is it just where we live?
I'm pretty sure it's just here. It's the land transfer tax. And what's crazy is that even if you live in a condo building and you move floors, you got to pay the land transfer tax, the welcome tax again. Yeah. So that's in Quebec, and that's not fun. But you got to do it. But yeah, like you said, in pre-approvals, that's very important. There's different ways to get a pre-approval. There's one where you go to the bank, right? To your bank, your TD Bank or BMO.
Yeah.
And there's just someone who works there, right? They work a 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, and they give you a rate. That's one way. Another way, which I suggest, is to go to a mortgage specialist, mortgage broker. And the reason why is they work on commission. And when you work on commission, you get the deal done. So if you say, no, get me a lower rate, they're going to fight for the lower rate. If we have a deal together on a house and it's Saturday and I need something from the bank, I can call the mortgage specialist. I can't call TD. So it's super important to have a mortgage specialist with you, in my opinion. Yeah.
What about notary fees?
Ooh, notary fees. So that's getting more and more expensive every year. It used to be like $800 back in the day. Now my clients are getting $2,700, $2,300. So they're going up. But choosing a notary is also very important because you hire them to protect you. They look over the file. They look over the certificate of location. They make sure there's no liens on the house. So don't cheap out on the notary. That's like your last protection.
Yeah. My dad always says, you make money at the price you buy. Is that true?
Well, yeah, because properties are gonna always appreciate, right?
Yeah.
So you just have to find, it's very imperative, a good location.
Yeah.
And something with room to grow in.
Yeah.
Yes, buying a turnkey house is great, but you're paying for someone else's renovations.
Yeah.
I always like to buy a house and then you do the floors, you do the chandeliers, make it your own.
Yeah.
It's more fun like that.
That's what we did, actually.
You did?
Oh, my God.
So what did you do as renovations?
Oh, my God. What didn't we do?
Really?
Yeah. We gutted the house. We got it at a really good price. Okay. It was an estate sale that was sitting on the market.
Very nice.
So, mercy. So we had room to negotiate there because it was sitting on the market. Nobody wanted the house. And it was such a big project that's why it was sitting on the market. But my fiance, who we call Bob the Builder, took it upon himself to say, no, I can do this with my family. We can renovate this house. We just pitch in, obviously, financially. We get a few things outsourced and we'll get it done. 3 months tops, it'll be done. We bought a townhouse. I'm like, okay. So he sold me on the vision.
Okay.
And I said, screw it. I guess we're going to do it. So we negotiated the price. We got the house. We went to the notary. We signed the dotted line. We gave away all of our money in a check. And there started the renovations. The second weekend after we got the keys, we had all of our friends over, demoed the entire house, just like broke everything, literally took it back to the studs. The kitchen was gone, like everything was gone. Okay. The tile, some of the sections in the house had 2 layers of tile we had to break through to get to the plywood.
Oh, okay.
So it was a whole thing. And there started the design process. So we just redesigned the kitchen. We opened some of the walls. None of them were supporting walls.
Did you hire a designer? Like, how did you do it?
The kitchen, we found a company that does design and fulfillment. So that was a blessing, really, because it's so hard to design a kitchen. I tried doing it by myself and it was like not turning out like how I wanted. Everything else we kept neutral. We went with white walls. Okay, good. Even though I carefully picked the shade of white.
What,
it's still
eggshell white?
It didn't choose eggshell. I went to Benjamin Moore. By the end of the reno, the guys who were helping us counted how many samples I had. I had like $200 worth of samples.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but every shade of white was different color. Depends on the light. Depends on the this, the that, the room. Anyway, we painted the walls white. The wood floors we kept. We just sanded and recolored.
Very nice.
The bathrooms, I found pictures on Pinterest and just copy pasted. the bathrooms because that was the only way to like exactly recreate the look. And then from there it was just like furnishing. And the basement we said we didn't do it. We were like it's too much before we move in. It took us 6 months to do that entire thing. Between like, so we had some people help us, like we hired some people to help us with tiling, but like things like electrical, my family or Antoine's family they have electricians in his family, so
amazing.
They were able to redo that. But he did all the stairs himself. Like
stairs are hard to do too, huh?
Thread. He spent like a week till 1:30 in the morning, 2 a.m. making those stairs at his dad's workshop to make sure we had stairs on time for the company to come and like color them and like sand them and color them the same color as our wood floors. So it was a massive undertaking.
It turned out nice?
It turned out really nice.
Nice.
Like I can't complain. I love how
you stained it chocolate brown, or what did you stain it?
Oh my gosh. Not chocolate brown. But we stained them kind of like, you see the thread here in the middle?
Yeah.
A bit that color.
Okay.
So I kind of call it like very milky chocolate. And I had this whole theme in my head for like the kitchen. I called it cafe au lait, the color of the cabinets, because I really liked that color. It's not as dark as cafe au lait. It just reminds me of cafe au lait. It's like a light tea, for example. Like, you know, when there's milk in tea, it looks like that mixed with some white cabinets. And then our stairs, the frame of the stairs, we repainted chocolat noir.
There you go.
So everything kind of pairs together, and it's a neutral home, but we're trying to add character through the furniture, through the moldings, through things like that. Why was I telling you about all this? Because you were saying that you should reno. So looking back, we did that.
That's a big job.
It was huge. Obviously, for a relationship that had never done that before, it was a test. Like everybody was.
Did you strangle Antoine?
We did not strangle each other, thank God. But our parents were like, "Are you sure you want to do this?" So anyway, we didn't strangle each other, but everybody in our lives were stressed for us, because they do say when you do a renovation, it really does test your relationship. And I don't know how we survived 6 months. And obviously, looking back, we were way in over our heads, but because we're on the other side of it, now we're like, haha, it was so great.
But now it's done, right?
Now it's done, and we get to enjoy the house.
Beautiful.
And it feels good. But I guess that would be maybe the only caution of doing that whole thing is like it is a lot. It's stressful.
So when you buy a house that needs renovations, sometimes it's like opening up a can of worms. You do the gyprock, and then the insulation behind the gyprock, and you just always have to do these little things.
Yeah.
Like, for example, I'm flipping a house with my father.
Okay.
It's a bonding experience. We had a great time doing it, but every single thing we did, we had to do something else. And at one point I told my dad, like, we have to stop.
Yeah.
We're not contractors, we're trying to flip the house.
Yeah.
So, and it's very expensive nowadays.
Yeah.
It's like crazy. And every contractor's trying to get the most amount of money from you. And you got to play this little dance. It's hectic. Man.
It is. But it is a loophole to getting your dream home, and also biggest bang for buck, right? If you shop smart and you like design it smart for resale, and you buy it at a price that is lower than market. We looked at the numbers for that. We were trying to buy the house to be less expensive than the ones that had sold in our neighborhood, so we can bring it up to value, and then it could have time to appreciate over time. But these are all things that I guess like people don't particularly think about. A lot of the times people lead by emotion.
Yes.
Have you seen that often happen?
Of course.
And does it dictate how they purchase because of their emotion?
Emotions. So I'm basically also a therapist.
Okay.
I'll get calls at night and in the morning. Oh my God. And I have to manage people's expectations. That's why it's good to have a broker who's impartial, so I can kind of, give them the facts. Because when you're emotional, you're not thinking straight.
Yeah.
You either overpay or you underpay because your ego doesn't want to spend the extra $5,000, and you lose your dream home.
Right.
An extra $5,000 is like $1 a day.
Yeah.
Plus you have to put another $250 on your down payment. It's not the end of the world, $5,000.
Yeah.
The bank is lending you $5,000. It's not your $5,000. So that's what people need to kind of see.
Yeah.
And emotions make people take things personally.
Yeah.
So let's just say you submit an offer and you get a counter. and you get kind of hurt by it. You know, every transaction comes down to $5,000.
Yeah.
I don't care if you're buying $1 million house or a condo. It always goes down to $5,000, and it should be the buyers who bite the bullet, because in the end, you're getting a mortgage, so it's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
So don't be stubborn. Get the house. It'll appreciate. You'll make money. You won't even remember,
True.
that you overpaid $5,000, $10,000.
Right.
Yeah.
That's so true.
Yeah,
So
it's
true.
very important.
What should a couple look for if they want kids versus not kids in terms of space?
So a lot of people just say, Marty, I never have enough storage. Everyone loves storage, which is great. If they have kids, I'd like to be around schools and parks. That's very important. If they don't, even if they do have kids, also being close to transportation. So when your kids are a bit older, they can take the bus, the metro. So I would look for those things, if you have kids. Yeah. And if you're single or you don't have these responsibilities, take the risk.
Okay.
Take the risk in real estate. Very rarely you'll lose, especially if you have good advice. It's almost a sure thing. So that's it. Just take risks when you're young, and when you have a family, kind of slow down, build equity, and start building for your kids' future. That's what I would do.
Could you give us an example of what taking a risk would look like?
Taking a risk would look like what you did.
Okay.
That's a risk.
That was a major risk.
That's a major risk.
Delulu is the Salulu.
So yeah, I don't want to go through horror stories, but the most important thing.
No, please share.
No, it's going to give me anxiety and stress.
Okay.
No, but I will. But the most important thing when you buy a house is the inspection.
Yeah. Yep.
You need to get a good inspector who's been in the business for many years, because they've seen everything. You need an inspector who's not an alarmist, not someone that's doom and gloom, someone who can explain it to you. Look, this is the issue. You can fix it like this, A, B, C, D, that type of thing. What you want to make sure is your foundation is rock solid. Okay, don't worry about hairline cracks. That's a $600 fix. But make sure the structure is sound. The attic has proper ventilation, so there's no mold. And make sure the windows are relatively new. Anything other than that, you can kind of fix. So I'm not worried. But those three things are major things.
What is relatively new for in your mind for Windows? 10 years? 5 years?
Yeah, I would say 10 years.
10 years is still considered relatively
10 years
new?
is fine, yeah. It depends on the type of windows they have. I can get into all the different types. But windows are very, very expensive to replace.
Yeah.
So
Roofing too.
Roofing too. And with roofing, the thing is, you say, I just need to change the roof, but then there's mold. There's not enough insulation. A, B, C, D, and then
And it adds up.
yeah, exactly. So just make sure those three things are solid.
What about asbestos?
So asbestos gets people worried. It's a good insulator. They used to use it back in the day.
Yep.
It is toxic, but if you don't move it, if you don't agitate it, it's okay. So a lot of asbestos and vermiculite will be in the attic.
Yeah.
But you're not going in the attic to move it around.
Yeah.
When people have kids, they don't like the word mold or, that type of thing.
For sure.
But everything is fixable. It's not a big deal. It's just you need to know what the problem is, how to fix it, and then just do it. And it always turns out good. And you get a guarantee too, usually.
So you mentioned the inspection.
Yeah.
You mentioned to get a good inspector. How do you know how do you find a good inspector? First time home buyers, we used a referral, but our inspector didn't go on the roof because he couldn't reach the roof.
So it was in the winter?
It was not in the winter. It was in the fall. It was a bit rainy, and because our house is a townhouse, it's attached on both sides, not just one side. So he couldn't get up there. He would have needed a ladder, and he didn't have a ladder, which seemed like a red flag. It is.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if an inspector can't get on the roof, they usually have a drone.
Oh, it was raining. He didn't want to put his drone.
Okay.
He should have come back the next day.
Yeah.
That's the thing here. So we got a referral. We thought it was going to be good. And then looking back, we were like, it wasn't the best inspector. At least it didn't seem that way.
It doesn't fit. Yeah.
But because we were going to got everything, we were like, there's nothing we won't see on our end anyway and fix.
Right.
Which is why we kind of let that go. But for somebody who doesn't know where to find a good inspector, what would you recommend they do?
Well, hopefully you're using a broker to make a purchase, and that broker should give you 3 inspectors.
Okay.
And then from those 3, you can call them and kind of, ask them a bunch of questions, see how they respond, see how you connect.
Okay.
Because some inspectors love to explain. Some inspectors are saying, oh, no, don't worry about that, blah, 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 and they're on to the next.
Okay.
So it depends on the person, but always get 3 inspectors, call them, and get inspectors of that area.
Okay.
Why is, for example, in the South Shore, there's a lot of pyrite, in homes. So you need an inspector who's, familiar with that.
What's pyrite?
Pyrite. So it's a mineral that's in the ground,
Okay.
in your subfloor.
Okay.
And when humidity touches it, ça gonfle.
Okay, it
Gets bigger. It balloons and it screws up your floors and whatnot.
Okay.
And it's costly to remove.
Okay.
So pyrite is definitely something to look out for in the South Shore.
Yeah.
Parts of Montreal, but definitely have a good inspector. Yeah.
Okay. How concerned should people be about flood zones and buying in a flood zone?
Medium. So flood zones have different categories. There's usually the very high, medium, and low. And it affects the insurance too. So number 1, you have to check with your insurance to see how much it's going to be because it's in a flood zone. And you want to make sure the city took steps in fixing the problem of the flood zone. So either, rerouting some of the municipal sewers or whatnot, or doing some landscaping around the water banks, just to know that they have a plan. That it's not like, oh, it happened once and hopefully it won't happen again, type of thing.
Yeah.
So flood zone, I would be worried for. There's a website that I can give to you that you type in the address and it'll show exactly if it's in a flood zone or not.
Yeah.
It takes 2 seconds. If it is, then you need to look at it a little bit better.
Okay.
And it should be cheaper, right? In a flood zone.
Because it's in a flood zone. We'll put the link in the description box of that
for sure.
site.
Yeah.
Let's say you do buy in a flood zone, even maybe it's not an extreme flood zone, but like there's a risk. What would you suggest people put in their basement to avoid, if possible, to redo the floors or anything in the case of a flood zone?
In the case of a flood zone, it's important to have some pumps in your house, okay? And not just 1, 2. One that's a backup. So if the power goes out and it's raining, right? There's thunder, it's raining, power goes out. At least you have a backup sump pump on battery or whatnot. You can also put a gravity pit, but that's another subject. And you can put different flooring, vinyl flooring in your basement. So if ever there is flood, it's easy to clean up.
Clean up, not need to redo.
Exactly, not need to redo. It's a bit kind of cheaper, but it can save you some money,
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about a tile?
Yeah, tile's okay.
Is tile better than vinyl for flooding or no?
I don't even know the answer to that question.
Okay,
Yeah,
well,
I think that's one of the first questions I got stumped. Yeah.
Oh, it's okay. No, but we'll do some research. Maybe this is a question for somebody who's in like construction or I don't know, but
What I wouldn't do is put hardwood floors.
Right.
Right, because they warp and then they go up.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I would just put laminate floor or vinyl, just something cheap, something easy to clean. Basements are used a lot by kids playing and whatnot.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't go too crazy in the basement. I would more focus on the kitchens, the bathrooms, and the flooring upstairs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
those are
Let's
3
talk about like
things.
where we see the most value in renovating. Are those the 3 key?
I have
areas?
one more, which is the one I tell everyone to do. Please paint.
Paint.
Paint is the biggest ROI on your money. And it just, as soon as people walk in the house, okay, let me say it like this. Nowadays, when people shop for a house, they'll know within the first 30 seconds if they like the house or not.
Yeah. True.
Yeah. So realtors, we don't sell anymore.
Yeah.
That's not our job. We help you guide and make sure you don't make the wrong decision.
Yeah.
So the first 30 seconds is important. And that warm, welcoming, new, fresh paint is so important.
Okay.
Yeah, very important.
Do you suggest we paint every 5 years?
No,
No.
not every 5 years, but when you're ready to sell,
You paint right before you're ready to sell.
yeah, I would hire a painter too.
Yeah.
Don't do it alone, okay? It seems like fun. Oh, pizza party. Don't do it. It's never fun. Your neck hurts looking up. You're full of paint. You're arguing.
And there's so many layers of paint.
Oh my God, yeah.
The primer, the 2 to 3 coats, it never ends. And imagine doing a whole house. Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, disaster. So
Disaster.
hire a painter. And then after the paint, what I would do is I would do the kitchen.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. A lot of people gather around the kitchens. It's like a sense of community in the home. It's the heart of the home. So I would do a nice, very nice, light, minimalistic kitchen. Don't get too crazy with patterns and funky floors. Like, yes, if you're going to stay there forever or 10 plus years, but try to keep it, something that everyone would like.
For resale value purposes,
exactly.
especially if you're not planning on staying your whole life, I guess.
And everyone in Quebec, I think every 5 years or 5.5 years, people move in Quebec, right?
Okay.
So, yeah, think
That's
about
good
that.
to know.
Yeah.
So you would say the painting, the kitchen, the bathroom upstairs.
Yeah, bathrooms are very important too, yeah.
And what was the fourth one? I had the most upsell.
Floors?
Floors,
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
The flooring. So a lot of people, when they come visit a house, they're like experts in flooring. They'll walk around the house and they'll say, oh, it creaks here, it looks here, oh, this is lifted. So floors is super important because everyone's an expert. Everyone is looking at the floors. Oh, there's a scratch here,
Yeah. Would a lighter floor be better to camouflage anything like scuffs and things like that?
Definitely. So lighter floors, it's much better for scuffs. You don't see, like, for example, if you have pet hair, like pets, I have dark floors in my condo. And every day I'm Swiffering.
Yeah.
And it just never ends.
It never ends.
Yeah. So yeah. So I would definitely try and get lighter floors. Lighter floors makes the space look bigger as well. Light walls, light floors, natural sunlight. You got a winner on your hands. Yeah.
What about the backyard landscaping? This is one thing we're struggling with.
Oh, are you? Okay.
Our backyard's tiny.
I just did my place. So
You did?
Yeah.
So we're like towing with, because we kind of have a 5% slope going towards the house in the backyard.
Okay.
So in the inspection, he said you should probably re-level it so the water can't really come in. But to re-level it, it costs a lot. We have to almost like take off all of the deck. We have to take, well, not the deck. We do have to redo the deck, but like those tiles on the floor that they put.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Béton.
There's a pavé uni kind of.
Yeah. Pavé. We have to redo that. And then we have to bring sand to put more dirt and grass to to re-level. And because it's a small area, it shouldn't cost an excessive amount. But when you come to get quotes, it is an excessive amount. And we don't think that it's going to add value to the resale.
It's not. Yeah.
It's not.
No,
okay, that was the question. So you would suggest maybe, what would you suggest in this case? Like, how do we fix it up without blowing the budget?
Okay. Okay, so you have a slope going towards your house. So what I would do is I would just buy a bunch of dirt, okay? I would take off the deck. I would take off some of the grass and I would start packing in the dirt with a compactor and then re-putting the sod on it. I don't like spending money on that. And the reason is because every single house has a negative slope towards the house.
Really?
Like 90% of them. It's in every report.
Oh.
Every single one.
Okay, I'm glad you said that.
And the thing is, when my clients say, oh, Marty, it's a negative slope. Oh, yeah, no problem. You can fix it. And we move on.
Yeah.
It's a non-issue almost.
It's a non-issue that inspectors make it an issue.
It is, well, okay, let me rephrase that. It could be an issue because the water's going against your foundation, right?
Yeah.
And you never want that.
Obviously.
But again, it's an easy fix and every house has it, right?
Yeah.
So just fix it, but don't get gouged by companies.
Okay.
Just compact it, put the dirt, put the sod, and just monitor your house.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you have foundation cracks or your house is like, yes, okay, do it the proper way. Maybe
Yeah.
you need to dig. But generally, just kind of fix it up a little bit.
Okay.
Okay, no big deal.
Noted. When it comes to the bathroom upstairs, is the bathtub that necessary to keep, or is it okay to take it out?
Good question. That's a very good question.
Yes, it's a very controversial question among some of the people I know. So that's why I wanted to ask you.
I'm a believer in having a tub and the upstairs. The reason being for children. When people move in, new families, they want to have somewhere to wash their child. Very important. I've been on visits where there is no bathtub and we leave lickety split right away. So I would say it doesn't hurt. Keep it there. Yeah, definitely.
If you're going to be a family of 4, but you just got married or you're getting married, you're buying your first home, you're looking at condos because maybe that's what you can afford in the city, or houses if you can afford a bit more in the suburbs, or wherever the case may, whatever the case may be. How many bedrooms should you look at buying? Or is it okay to buy, your first couple place with less bedroom? Did I say bathrooms? I meant to say bedrooms. With less bedrooms. And then 5 years down the road, buy something with more bedrooms? Or is it better to buy more bedrooms sooner? Like, what do you advise there?
Okay, interesting question. As long as the property has 3 bedrooms on the top, that's what everyone looks for.
Okay.
As soon as you have 2 bedrooms up top and maybe 1 in the basement, you have less buyers.
Okay.
So you'll get less activity when you sell.
Okay.
Less activity means less multiple offers, less price. So get 3 bedrooms minimum. That would be my advice.
Would you also say 3 bedrooms helps with staying longer in that piece of property?
Of course. Yeah. Of course. A lot of people have their child, right beside them. And then when they get older, they go to the basement, they have their little cave there. But I would definitely get 3 bedrooms minimum if you can.
And then how many bathrooms minimum for 3 bedrooms?
So you definitely need 1 full bathroom, 1 powder room. Bonus if you can get 2 full bathrooms.
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would also like for people to buy a house where they have the option to put a bathroom in the basement.
Yeah.
Like there's roughing there just in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah, it helps a lot.
A full bathroom in the basement or powder room?
Powder room's okay, but a full bath would be the best.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Definitely.
That's good to know. So let's I think we really covered the situation of a couple who's looking for a house. Let's talk about the situations of the couples who have a house. They're getting married and God willing, they end up with a nice sum of money after their wedding because in their traditions, people bring cash as gifts. Let's say we take that cash as gift. We don't know what to do with it. Would you suggest that we look into buying an investment property with that cash? Or is it better to invest it in a real estate fund? What would you guide couples with?
Okay. Well, I'm pretty biased, but I'll say invest in real estate. There's a housing shortage. So it'll forever be like this. That's why they're always building new condos and new constructions. So that's why please buy a duplex or triplex or quadplex in a good location.
Okay.
Revenue properties, it's super important to be next to metros, schools, hospitals, location. And you only need 10%, right? So if
technically 10% down payments, the minimum.
Exactly. So what I would look for is you have a chunk of money, you want to invest. I look into a cash flow positive revenue property.
Do they exist? It seems like
they
they're
are
hard
hidden
to
gems,
find.
but we do find them.
Are those deals more off market?
So some are off market, but to get those deals, you need to sit down with your broker. You need to have all your financing ready, and you need to be prepared for when I call or when your broker calls. You go visit it that day and put an offer the next day. Okay, that's how quick it has to be.
You have to move fast.
Yeah, fortune favors the bold. If you hesitate, you're just going to hesitate yourself out of, a great property.
Do you have an idea in terms of split, in terms of like how much we should be putting aside? You said 10% we should have 10% down payment. Minimum. Yeah. How much percentage wise should we have for closing costs, renos, those other like unexpected expenses?
Yeah. Okay, good question. So for renos, I would like to hold 10% of the price that you purchase. So if you purchase for $500,000, you have $50K there, kind of just in case.
Okay.
And for closing costs,
so now you need $100K right now, cash.
Right. Yeah.
$50K for a down payment, $50K for renos.
Yeah. Okay. And then 2% of the purchase price for closing costs. Okay. Notary fees, taxes, a welcome tax.
Yeah.
All that jazz.
All the fun things.
So it takes a lot to accumulate and get everything ready. But when you're ready, you're jumping on properties, and it's a great thing. It's a fun feeling, and it's you generate a lot of wealth, generational wealth for your family.
Yeah. The cash flow positive properties that you're seeing,
yes.
What are they cash flowing at percentage wise?
So what you're trying to do when you buy revenue property is you want to break even. So you have a mortgage, right? And you have all your expenses, and you want the rents to cover your mortgage, or as close to it as possible. Yeah. Even if you lose $100, $200 a month, that's okay. First year, yes, you'll be a bit tight, but then the second, third, fourth, fifth year, you're off to the races because you're raising rents. Your property is appreciating. You can pull that equity, buy something else. There's a lot of options to do.
So would you say they start cash flowing positively by year 2 and 3?
That's the goal.
That's the goal.
You need to find a property that you can break even or just lose a little bit per month, and then you'll keep climbing the ladder, Then you buy another duplex. That one might be a little bit less cash flow positive, but your first duplex offsets the other one, and then you're off to the races a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just had this question earlier and I forgot to ask it to you. So let's bring it back to like the shopping for a second. We talked about the emotional side of shopping when a couple like falls in love with a piece of property. Sometimes they're willing to put in all their money or like pay more than what the asking price even is because they just really want it emotionally. How do you help a couple through those emotions? Or how do you see couples manage that? To give you an example, we had our dads come with us to see the houses, kind of give us their input because they became that buffer between the emotional and the financial. Is that a good thing that you suggest people do, or do you think the couple should just shop on their own? How do you kind of navigate that with them?
That's a good question. I don't want to insult any dads out there.
Don't insult it. It's okay. Say how you feel. Nobody will take it personal.
Yeah. So the thing with dads is they care so much.
Yeah.
And they know a lot, of course.
They do.
But they're alarmist. They kind of give you things that could happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So what I would like to do, or what I suggest, is you do it on your own as a couple, and you bring your father, your parents for the inspection.
Yeah, okay.
Then they can be involved in the process and they can properly advise you. But it's you and your fiance's life. This is your journey, Let's see what you like. I know that if I brought my father there, it'd be totally different. I would never buy anything, right? Because he would say, no, this is like this, and he'd be right. But you have to see the vision, your future, which you desire for yourself. So try and keep them, yes, on the sideline, but as like an X factor,
Have you seen couples do anything else to like help them with their decisions?
Who? Sorry,
have you seen couples do anything else other than bringing their parents help them with their decisions? Or you would say that's the main thing people do?
That's the main thing. They also bring their friends. I don't like when you bring your friends because friends have their own opinions. Keep it to family or someone who's owned property before, or even bring a contractor with you. Like for you, when you buy your house, you could have brought a contractor there at the inspection time, and that way you can, kind of gauge, okay, you saw what the inspector said? Okay, how much is it going to be? Because the inspector's not allowed to tell you prices. If they do, it's a huge no-no. Yeah, they just have to tell you what's the situation of the property, what you have to fix immediately, what you have to monitor, and what you have to do in the future.
Okay. Let's say we're 10 years down the line. We got married. We bought our house before we got married. So we didn't put all of our money in the wedding. We got married, all the things. We bought our investment property that cash flow positive.
You're killing it.
Let's just say we're in that scenario, right? It's 10 years down the line after the wedding. We're ready for our dream home.
Oh.
Is it better to look at your dream neighborhood and buy the smallest house in that dream neighborhood? Or should you buy the biggest house in maybe not the nicest neighborhood ever, but still a nice, decent neighborhood, like financially ROI wise? Which one's better?
I would say buy the smaller house in the neighborhood that you like. Being the smaller house on a big street is great because you get them as comparables. Maybe not exactly, but they do rub off on you.
Okay.
And if you're like the big mansion, where everyone else has like little rundown houses, you're not going to appreciate. That's a bad investment move, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah, unless you get a steal and the mansion is like, 100,000, like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
But I would always buy properties where you can grow into.
Okay. Always growing into.
Yeah.
Let's play a little game of buy or buy. Are you ready? So it's a lightning round where you give your hot takes on each scenario.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Let's do it.
Number 1, buying a house without legal guarantee. Buy or buy?
Buy it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And how so?
So again, it goes to how much of a risk you're willing to take.
Yeah.
So legal warranty is to protect you from hidden defects.
Yeah.
Right? So if you don't have it, people think, oh, I'm not protected from hidden defects. You still are. It's just harder to get your money and to prove it. You know, so that's why it's super important to have a good inspection. Because, for example, even if you have legal warranty, okay, you buy the house, you go there, you're like, oh my God, the roof caved in, for example. Even if you have legal warranty and something happens, you still have to go chase and sue the seller.
Yeah.
That could take you up to 2 years.
Right.
So even if you have the legal warranty, are you really going to waste your time for $5,000, $10,000? So it depends.
Okay.
Most important is the inspection. Yeah.
You would say then the legal guarantee is a bit there for as like a bit of a security blanket, but like
Yes.
really doesn't do much.
Yeah, because if something happens to the house, you're in a jam anyways.
Yeah.
It might be easier to get out of it, but it's not necessary. So I wouldn't mind. The only reason I would mind is if they're selling a house without legal warranty when those people bought it with legal warranty. Then I would say, oh, why are you selling it without?
Yeah.
But if
it's
the
a bit of
house-
like a red flag.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if the house has been sold all the time without legal warranty, or it's like a grandmother who doesn't know anything about the house and she's just like, I can't give you a guarantee,
Yeah.
then that's fine.
Yeah. It
know-
slides. It's more appropriate.
Exactly. So I would buy.
You would buy.
Yeah.
Waiving the inspection to beat the competition.
Again, for me, I would do it. But for first-time home buyers, have the inspection. Don't ever skip it.
Would you do it
ever,
if
ever
you know
skip
you're
it.
going to renovate, or would you versus would you do it even if you know you're not renovating?
I would always do it. It also serves as a checklist of what you need to do in the future.
Yeah, it does.
You know,
actually.
like,
That's a good
oh,
point.
okay, there's this that we can do that later. So it's just like a checklist.
Okay.
But to win a house, when you have an inspection, what I like to do is attach an inspector letter.
Okay.
So it's just saying like, hi, I'm the inspector for this couple and I've spoke to them and we're doing this just to know about the house. We're not using it as a negotiation tactic, you know, and that kind of puts the sellers at ease a little bit. Oh, they're not trying to nickel and dime us.
Okay.
That helps a lot. So there's many ways to win multiple offers without putting yourself at a disadvantage.
Right.
Yeah.
Would you let people put in offers without pre-approval?
No,
No.
I won't even go shopping with them if they don't have a pre-approval.
Okay.
Yeah, you need that pre-approval, not only for me to show that you're serious
Yeah.
and we're a team and we're ready to go, but also to lock in your rate
Yeah.
for 3 or 4 months.
Yeah.
You know, even if you don't buy, it's okay. At least it's locked in. But what if you wake up and I call or your broker calls and they say, oh my God, this is the one. Are you ready?
Yeah.
And you're not ready. Ugh, disaster.
True.
Yeah.
Would you say the rates are the best they're going to be right now for the next 2 years?
I don't know.
You don't know. You can't.
I don't have a crystal ball. I mean, I think they're going to stay the same. I think they'll still be around 4 to 4.5%. I don't see any big swings like the 1.8s and the 1.5 percentages. That's going to be a while until we see that again. Yeah. So get comfortable with where we are right now.
Get comfortable with where we are right now. And then just for budgeting, we're going to get back to the game, but just for budgeting purposes for the couple, I don't remember how we did this, but like we obviously knew what we were pre-approved for and what our down payment could be, but I forget who kind of advises you on showing you the black and white numbers of what your mortgage is going to be every month. Is that the mortgage broker who does that?
It could be the mortgage broker who does that. I rather him.
Yeah.
But if you have like your interest and whatnot, I can calculate it pretty easily.
You can
like
do
a
it too. Okay.
like a rough number. But definitely anything finance, it's with your mortgage guy or your bank or whatnot. Yeah.
And what helps people feel not house poor in terms of what they can afford mortgage wise?
What do you mean?
Meaning out of their salary, do you suggest that they put that if to live comfortably, that their mortgage not be more than 30% of their salary?
You took the words out of my mouth,
the
yeah.
number? Okay.
Yeah.
Obviously lower is better, but 30% you would say is comfortable. You can still go traveling, live your life, go out to eat and not feel house poor where you're stuck like putting all your money in your house.
Look, just because you're pre-approved for $1 million doesn't mean you need to go and spend it.
Yeah.
You know, crunch the numbers and see how much you can afford. Maybe it's $3K a month, maybe it's 4 or 5.
Right.
But you want to buy nice furniture in your house. You want to buy
too.
knickknacks,
For
you know,
sure.
paintings. So yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
definitely budget with that.
Buy or buy.
Okay.
Splurging on a 20K kitchen reno before you even move in.
No, buy.
Buy.
No,
Okay.
go into the space, see how you like it, see if it's livable, and then you can adjust. You know, don't, go live in it. Go try it first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Living in a tiny downtown condo to be in the action.
Okay.
Buy or buy.
Buy. No. Downtown's a very tricky market. It's very volatile. It changes like this. So no.
Maybe renting that is better.
Yeah.
Do you ever advise couples to rent over buy?
Yeah.
Is there ever a scenario where you would suggest that they, okay, what scenario would that be?
Lifestyle if they travel a lot.
Okay.
So I have a friend, and he's with his girlfriend, and they rent in Verdun for $800 a month. That's all they pay, and they just travel nonstop.
$800 a month is cheap here.
I know.
Wow, that's great.
That's why they don't want to move.
Yeah.
You know, and they're you know, they're my age. They're around 40, but their lifestyle is just they love traveling and yeah. So definitely rent, because you know what to expect. You know you're paying your $800 or $2,000 a month, and that's it. With houses, you never know. You know, a rock could hit your window, and then you need to fix this and then that.
You need that rainy day fund.
Exactly. Yeah.
There's also a lot of people who are considering renting over buying depending on the interest rate. They're thinking, okay, well, if I rent for this amount every month, let's say 2K, but versus getting a mortgage, my mortgage would cost me, let's say 3K a month. Well, that 1K difference I could put in investments instead.
Yeah, you
and
can.
that can grow at 10% year over year, give or take. Would you advise in that situation as well for people to rent over buying, or is that less like what you would cut out with them?
I wouldn't even touch that. I would say to go speak to their financial advisor or whatnot. I don't like giving advice if I haven't lived it or whatnot. But it is something people do.
Yeah.
And again, you're putting your money in stocks. What kind of stocks?
Right.
You know?
That's a whole investment portfolio conversation,
I know.
which my dad's an investment advisor.
Really?
Yeah. So I'm going to have him on the podcast to talk about these things. But I was just wondering, like, from the real estate perspective, if you guys also advise on that, but no.
Yeah, we try not to. I'll give my own opinion, but only if they really want and I'm comfortable with them.
Of course.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Buying a house with friends to split costs. Buy or buy?
Buy. Don't ever do that. That's
How to ruin your friendships.
101.
Yeah.
Like so quick.
Yeah.
So quick. So yeah, don't do that. Yeah.
Okay.
With family, yes, but with friends, yeah.
Less so.
Yeah.
Marty, this was so helpful. Thank you so much for being here on Wedding Wednesday.
For sure, my pleasure.
Please tell everybody where they can connect with you and speak to you about their first-time home buying needs.
Yeah, guys, if you need, reach out to me on Instagram or go on Montreal's Elite Real Estate Group. That's the team I'm with. And that's it. Happy hunting. If you have any questions, just DM me, call me. I'm here.
Amazing. For anybody who has a crazy wedding related horror story and would like to share it with us on the podcast, feel free to email it at hello@weddingwednesdaypod.com. Of course, please rate, review, subscribe, do all the things because it really does help our podcast grow. And with that, we will see you in the next episode. Bye for now.